Alright, so what's up guys, my name is JC Scott, and in this tutorial I'm going to be showing you how to make a Pharrell inspired beat for LIL TECCA'S DOPAMINE, and specifically for songs like Dark Thoughts or Hollywood. So let's get into this tutorial. Alright, so first off, we're going to start out with the chords. So just like in Dark Thoughts and kind of in Hollywood, although they use kind of like more guitarish sounding, we have a clean funk clav here, and from Analog Lab. That's the preset. Basically, in a lot of these songs and Pharrell songs, they use a lot of minor seventh and not even just like seventh and ninth and so on chords, kind of, so it sounds really jazzy. So in Dark Thoughts, for example, they use minor seventh chords. So this is kind of like the chord progression here. Here, let me just turn that up. So that's a C sharp minor 7, and then it goes to a G flat minor 7. Kind of like that. So I found out a good chord progression to use before this video started. So and very important, set your tempo to around 100. That's like good for these like Pharrell swag kind of beats. So around like 90 to 110, that's like your sweet spot. We're gonna record this in, I think. So I'm gonna hit record, and I'm gonna screw it up. So now we're just going to move to the FLP so I can show you things in greater detail. All right, so now that we're on the FLP, let's go to the piano roll, and you can see record here. So what I'm just going to do is first bring up all the velocities, because I'm not trying to make any notes stand out necessarily, so might as well just keep it all at like that. Let's just turn that off. All right, so now we're going to quantize it, so it should be good. And to give it some bounce, you want to put it on the off beats, like this note, these notes here. Of course, it didn't quantize perfectly, but we can just easily fix that. It's not very hard. Yeah, so you just want to put on the off beat stuff, put on the metronome. Except that one's not right, but you can hear that this one is on the off beat, and it gives it more bounce. So like this versus, you know, just, I mean, some points you can have that, but like bounce is essential in these beats to make them sound good. So let me just, and you can add, so I'm adding, I believe this is the 11th to the chord, just to give it a little, and then this one I'm gonna change it up from here. Add the C, and then add the E back here. And all we're doing, essentially, we can literally just do this. We're literally just bringing each note up about a half step. And you can even add some variation at the end here. So you can kind of just sound it out in your head. You might want to have a little bit of bounce here. Kind of like that, just to lead it back into this chord more smoothly as compared to here, make it a little more interesting. So yeah, that is the chords done. So I think next we're gonna move on to the electric piano. All right, so for the electric piano, in Dark Thoughts, it's not really very prevalent in the song. It's more just like little like ear candy throughout. So that's what we're gonna do. So what they use is like broken chords that kind of sustain on top of each other. So we can go into E piano and pick whichever one you want. I'm using X-Band preset. And okay, we'll keep it for now, but I might switch it later. But basically, so, and then kind of like after this, you might want to have like a little, like, I guess, flourish. I don't know exactly. You can kind of just use the notes of the chord and pitch it up an octave. So first we can just do this and just kind of. You might want to have it just like play out like that. And you probably want to shrink it a little just so the notes, you can change your grid size, but I just put on 1/4, and then you can use this little tool right here to just resize it. Kind of do something like that. I might change, I don't really like this preset, so I think instead of expand, I'm gonna go into a contact 8. So it might take a second to load, and we're just gonna go into Electric Keys Phoenix. So you can kind of hear the previews right now. That's just, I have if you're wondering what keyboard I have, it's the Control S88 Mark III. And you can kind of just hear, it has contact built into it, so you can kind of just go through all the presets. I'm going to choose 70s Suitcase Tremolo. So we're just going to load that preset in. And yeah, Contact has some great banks, honestly. I just got it, and it's just great. So let's do that. So we have a little too much vibrato, so or tremolo. So I'm gonna bring that down a little bit. Okay, that's fine. So now what we can do is just literally copy and paste this over, and pitch this back down an octave. And then since we want to go up about a half step, just use Shift and then the arrow keys to move it up and down, and then just look at your previous chords and just kind of move it around till it's right. And you can kind of just have to learn it by ear how, like, what sounds good and what sounds right. So sounds right, good. Might want to move that up a little. Let's just see how that sounds. And then we can, that sounds fine, so we'll pitch it up an octave. So yeah, there you go. You got the electric piano there. So now we're gonna move on to the lead, and I'm gonna go back to the POV cam so you can see how I might design a lead for one of these songs. All right, so now we're gonna move to the lead, and again, the lead is used sparingly. That's kind of like the common theme, is make room for the vocalist in this song. A lot of Pharrell songs, such as like Frontin' or That Girl, they really leave a lot of room for the artist, and that's really what you want to do as when you're making beats. You want to think of the artist in mind. Like I was saying about my keyboard, I can choose presets on this. So we are going to go to a synth-based instrument. So we're going to go, let's just say Utopia. This is a good one. We're going to go with this one, and I mean, the lead's pretty simple. It kind of just follows the chords again. Maybe it's just like a fifth up. I don't know, but honestly, a lot of it's just up to whoever's producing the track. I might change the sound. I'm not exactly loving the sound right now, so I might go for like a Surge XT. So, but right now, let's just record it in. So that's fine right there. So let's just go back to the FLP, adjust some things, change the lead sound probably. All right, so I've just switched out the preset for one in Surge XT called Chris PWM under leads. Free VST, by the way. It's really great. So what I'm actually going to do now is just make this 8 bars instead of 4, just because I want the lead to have a little more variation. And basically what I'm doing is I'm highlighting it with the right click and then hitting Control B on Windows and Command B on Mac to copy and paste that over. So let's just do that, and we're just gonna edit it in the MIDI. So let's just hear it. So we want it to kind of little bounce contrast from the other. Copy and paste that and just do little minor adjustments. Maybe instead of a good way to contrast it that I usually do is instead of going down, you might want to move up rather. And again, okay, never mind. So here you might want to go up and then go like. And I'm just doing a lead run here, kind of reminiscent of Dark Thoughts again. And yeah, like I said, it's just up to you. So there you go, got the lead. Pretty simple. It just kind of used sparingly, kind of just like topple things on top of each other. So you start with the chords, and then the keys come in, and then you got the lead. I might add one more thing, and probably like a synth instrument just to like fill out the chords here. We're just gonna do it because it honestly sounds good as a layer in the background. So I'm just gonna use another preset from Surge XT, again a free plugin under Brass called OB8 Jump. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go here. It's gonna be very easy. Just copy and then paste it back into there. And yeah, you can, if you click this little button, instead of having to, I know I did this for a while, instead of having to do this, keep like, you know, going through all the piano rolls, you can literally click here, and anything on the current pattern you can select, or even if it's not on the pattern, you can write a new melody. So now that I have this, let's just hear how it sounds. You don't want it to overshine the original clav we got. So that sounds cool. Let's just see. If you hit Control L, let's see. It kind of just fills it out instead of having to manually drag it. Just hit Control L. And instead of doing that, we might just want to have it. And then you might want to have a couple different notes. Maybe take out. Nah, we'll keep it. But sometimes you don't want to have all the same notes. So that's why I just added the F here, the 9th or 11th there. Copy and paste it, maybe for a little variation. Just add it. Fill it. A couple different notes. So yeah, there you go. You got, I think that is the melody done. The most important things are having that main melody that kind of drives the song. Then you want a nice Rhodes instrument to kind of complement your melody or your chords. And then you want a lead to, that is the one that complements everything. And then you just want something to fill out the rest of the melody, because it can kind of feel empty, especially if you don't have something like a brass during a chorus or something, or like the hook. So yeah. All right, let's move on to the other most important part. The drums are the next part we're going to go into. All right, so for my drums, I'm going to use FL Cloud. So I already have some drum sounds I have in mind. Go through a bunch of these. You want a nice, like, really hard kick. For instance, let's just use that one for now. Now we want a snare. The drum patterns for these PHARRELL kind of beats are really like, you want to give the drums as much room as you can. So no like two-step hi-hat, or like two-step hi-hat pattern. You really want to make it really spaced out. Just like that. Simple. Lastly, for a bass. So you can either use like a real live bass, or like kind of like more like electronic sounding, or just like a sub. So I think I might try a real like sounding guitar, see how that kind of sounds. Sounds kind of cool. So let's just see. So if we look back here, that's our note right there. You can go kind of low, and then you might want to pitch it down. you know, just kind of switch it up there at the end. Simple as that. So there you go. That is how you make a Lil Tecca Pharrell inspired beat for Dopamine. So if you guys really like that video, I would love to see some likes. Comment anything you might want me to cover next in a tutorial, or if you just have any questions about this one. Obviously, this one could use, you know, a lot of work. I mean, it's really great right now, but just little things, you know. But that's kind of how you make one of these beats. So I will see y'all in the next tutorial, and I hope you love this one. Thanks for watching. Oh yeah, I can't forget that you have to have the 4 count in the beginning.